Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, a.k.a. Tony. Here with some of my nearest and dearest in the building and co-hosts of the podcast. Got my dog DJ Doughy fresh in the building.
Yo, what up?
Not much, big dog. Also in the building. You see, Pucho, you see how clean that was? Yesterday was crazy a little bit. The last recording, interrupting, cutting it off, not
You
letting
just
me
cut
introduce.
yourself off.
Absolutely cut himself off.
You know, I just want to just show the smoothness and how the transition was there. Also in the building.
But there's a balance between smoothness and entertaining. And real smooth might just be kind of dull.
I didn't find none of that shit entertaining.
Yeah, but the people
people
might like it.
It might be as entertaining as the PS
Here we go
Vita.
back to the. You're gonna be playing it during the pod again. That's what we're doing.
No, I'm done setting it up. Yeah.
The Texas one without a gun, Mateo, is also in the building.
How's it going, Tony? You didn't throw that hat straight into the trash after this last season, or what are you waiting on?
See, I was just about to attack your hat, but that hat has nothing to do with you. So I'll leave it alone. Also in the building, a great one, the bald one, Pucho.
You know, my wife and I, we took a walk this morning for exercise.
Good.
And we hit a corner, and there was a TV that was shattered. Like,
Oh.
the whole glass was, like, caved in. And I'm sure that person was a Cowboys fan. That's literally what I told my wife when I saw it. I was like, those people are Cowboys fans.
There's no Cowboys game on. This is crazy. The hate is on.
Oh, no, it's been shattered for weeks. It just set it out now.
Tato.
You can see that video, that the one Cowboys fan, he's screaming at the TV, and he just like, God! He just like punches through his flat screen.
Is that video staged? That TV fell off the wall real easy. But I've also never punched a TV on a wall mount, and maybe they fall off the wall real easy after you punch them.
If mounted properly, no punch is getting that thing off the wall mount. We're talking about like 4 to 6 screws directly into wood. You're not punching that off. You'll break your hand before you're punching anything off of that.
I don't know. I mean, unless you was that big arm wrestling guy with the fucking, he might be able to do it.
He can hold a TV in one hand.
He could probably crush a watermelon in one hand.
That's impressive.
You think he could break an egg with his hand?
Anyone can break an egg with your hand. It's nothing.
It's supposed to be hard.
It's like damn near impossible to break an egg if you hold it like in the manner.
By the points?
Like if you put it in the palm of like and inside of your hand and try to crush it without people who try to crush it, they'll use the fingers to like dig into it. But that's different. We're just talking about just putting it right in the center of your hand and using like just closing your hand to crush it. It's really hard. You think I've seen big dudes who can't do it.
I'm not even saying because I'm big. I just know the strength of these hands and these fingers. If I'm just if this is the destruction level, it's at 100. At 100%, I'll destroy that.
I think Luca doubts it. He's like, nah.
Luca's calling him out for sure. So why does the knife have like such a low level of endurance and durability in Resident Evil 2? I didn't realize that knife was just gonna break on me after 2 zombies.
Usually the knives in the Resident Evil games are like the most powerful tools you could use. There are like literal knife runs that you could do. So I think in order to get away from that, is there an unbreakable knife in that game?
I think A, there's an unbreakable knife, and B, I think if you use your knife the right way, it won't break.
Really? What's the right way to use your knife?
Well, your knife broke when the zombie attacked you, and you saved yourself by like using the knife to like not get bitten. I feel like that triggers like a durability issue, but I think the swipes don't do that. I haven't played that game in years. When did that game come out? Did it come out in the middle of the pandemic? I can't remember.
I think so. The remake, I'm pretty sure it did.
It came out so long that they made like 2 remakes for it.
They made a remake since then, and they're dropping a remake imminently. So you're not entirely wrong. It's been we're about 2 remakes away from that remake. So.
Oh my God, Doughy turned into the sun just like that thumbnail I made this morning.
Yo, my room just activated RTX ray tracing, bro. What the fuck?
I told your bitch ass to buy curtains. Oh, I'll buy them. It's been a whole fucking week. Zero curtains.
Everyone
even use
donates to
that blanket.
Everyone donate to Doughy's GoFundMe to buy him some curtains. How you been doing, Pooch?
Chilling. Been watching a lot of TV, playing
the 12
games.
hours since we last talked.
Hey, man, you know what I have been doing? I've been power washing my ass off, okay?
Yes.
I just want the people to know. In between playing games of NBA 2K23, I'm power washing like a motherfucker, right? I'm on the road to platinuming Power Wash Simulator, okay? Every level, there's a little challenge that you got to do. Like, oh, don't knock the gnome over. You got to clean the whole thing without knocking the gnome over. Or make sure you clean the gutters last. I fucked that one up. I got to replay that level. A whole house. I got to re-clean a whole fucking house. It sucks. Yeah. And I did the hard trophies this morning, which are like, you have to get 5 gold medals in the challenge. There's like the challenge runs where it's like, you got to clean things in a certain amount of time. Those things are tight. I did one level. It took me 25 minutes to clean the whole thing. I did it in 25 minutes and 2 seconds. I got the silver medal. 2 seconds over. I had to play it again.
Off, dude.
And then I beat it at 24 minutes and like 38 seconds. So it's like the window.
Tight, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was a little pissed off that I spent 25 minutes twice, basically. But
I hope they do more weird things with that game. I hope they come out with like some like soccer modes or something goofy. Like I hope they keep adding just weird stuff to it.
I wouldn't be mad if they did like a Batman Arkham Knight and have the map at night. Imagine washing at night trying to look for those dark spots. Yeah, right.
They're talking about trying to do more crossovers. They tweet all the time. Their social media is very active.
Yes.
yeah, I didn't realize they're published by Square Enix, right?
Are they really? Is that the reason why they have the crossover stuff with Lara
Right, with
Croft
Final Fantasy and Tomb Raider, they're both owned by Square. So like, I wonder what crossovers they're gonna do outside of Square, if any. But even within Square, there's some fabulous things that could be done. How about a nice little? How lit would it be if they did like a Chrono Trigger crossover and you got to clean just the 3D versions of some Chrono Trigger levels? Like, it'll be like it'll add a hype. You know, people would think, oh shit, the Chrono Trigger remake is imminent. You know. Yeah.
Are there rumors of a Chrono Trigger remake?
Every single year.
Man, I'm on board, but I don't know what I would want. Maybe that Octopath Traveler style, that 2.5D or whatever. That could make the game pop.
They did like a tech demo or something like way back when they did Chrono Trigger in like 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here for it. I want that.
Yeah.
It's been so many years now. This is about as old as the Final Fantasy VII tech demo. Like everybody thinking Final Fantasy VII remake was imminent, and then it only took, 15 years later for them to actually do it.
It's a good game. It's a really good game. I've been very slowly playing my way back through it. I'm about to get
beat it?
I've beat it several times. I think I've got like every ending except for one. But just been working my way back through it.
I think when I did play it originally on the DS, which is like a fantastic way to play the game, I was like, I could remember the places I played and like I was like super into it. I was at my ex's, one of my girlfriends at the time. She took me to her, what is this shit called when everyone gets together? It's like a new group of workers. And then they're all like introducing you to the company and shit like that.
Her orientation?
She took me into her orientation. And I played throughout the whole orientation. And then like the guy who was explaining and was like, yeah, you spent the whole time on your DS. I was like, yeah, Chrono Trigger. The whole room laughed.
So like, I don't work for you guys, in case you're wondering.
What if the dude was like,
he
man,
was probably
that's
whispering like, "We need to fire that guy." He's
No,
not.
for sure. That he definitely, because I clearly wasn't paying attention the entire time.
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking that guy was like a huge Chrono Trigger fan. He was like, we need to fast track that guy to management.
Yeah.
Some Office Space shit right there. It's like, I don't do anything at work. That guy has management material written all over him. But yeah, the DS version of that game was the best way to play it too. It added they added an ending to the DS version that crossovered with
Chrono Cross?
with Chrono Cross, which I thought was dope.
That's dope.
Yeah,
They
there's
had-
an ending where you fight the last boss of Chrono Cross as like the ultimate boss in Chrono Trigger, and it's the Time Devourer, which is Shala, but she's like controlling Lavos or some weird shit like that. So it's like a stronger Lavos or something like that.
So you also say Lavos because that's how I pronounce it. I've heard people say Lavos. I don't like that. It's like the Mako thing.
Yeah, I'm a
And they-
Mako guy.
They had a music player on the DS that you could play all the soundtracks.
Uh-huh.
And then I used to hook up like my headphones and like jam out to that on the subway.
That's right. I forgot the DS let you jam to little
That's
music.
awesome.
Yeah. It's cool, bro. Like it was a good time in life when I had that DSi and it was a good time. I had it hacked. You know what fucked everything up for me? I just got the PS Vita. Trophies.
Uh-huh.
If there weren't any trophies on my Vita, I'd be more inclined to hack it, but I want to just get them all. Why am I stopping myself from getting those sweet, sweet trophies? But then, like, the first thing I'll do is download a PSP game. Like, I'm like, I want to play this. And it's like, there's no trophies on there. But I feel like trophies fucked the whole PlayStation. I love them, but they have created a fuck from me. Like, playing video games, it's hard for me to play games that don't have some sort of achievement system baked in.
What is the definitive like ranking now on achievements? Like who's top tier? Like, because you got like Steam achievements, you got the Xbox, you've got the trophies in PlayStation. Does Nintendo have a thing? They do, right? But
They
no one
do,
cares
but
about the
it's
Nintendo one. They're the
so
bottom.
whack.
They're obviously bottom tier, right?
So whack. So I would say PSN number 1, Xbox number 2, Steam number 3.
Wouldn't Steam be number 1 because the majority of people play on PC?
No, we're not. I mean, my opinion, who
Yeah,
has
like
the best achievement system? I would say,
system wise. Oh, okay.
yeah, I would say that
Steam's achievement system sucks.
it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
It's not engaging. It doesn't. There's I don't know what the fuck Sony did. I get a feeling when I get a trophy, it's that little ching, that little ding. It's something about it that is like. It's like a piece of me is completed inside. I don't know what to say.
I actually do really love Steam achievements, but some of them don't have tracking on them, and that kills me. I hate when you don't give me tracking on an achievement that I'm trying to get. Like if I need to kill 20,000 enemies, let me know what my current count is, so I know if it's ridiculous for me to try to get that achievement or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's one thing that Xbox has over all the other achievement systems is that they've had tracking in their achievements since like the 360. And Sony did not have tracking until just the PS5, and even still, it's up to the devs if they want to add tracking or not. So there's still a kill 500 things, and you don't know how far along you are. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, this is why I praise and I put Xbox second, because Xbox, they track all of that information. And for a really long time, I didn't know this through like the Xbox 360 days. If you got achievements, it was like points towards like actual money in Microsoft. So they did that shit way before fucking PSN. So I got to give them their shout out for that. PSN only started doing that like more recently.
See, I think I would actually put my like the Xbox ones honestly top tier. I think they might have the edge as far as like their achievement system.
I like it.
And I think PlayStation probably beats Steam, but Steam has a few weird things that I really like. Like the developers would do weird shit on some of the achievements for Steam. Like what is that game? The Stanley Parable, where one of the achievements was don't play the game for 10 years.
Yep. I don't like trophies like that. That's like that's a troll. Like
that one's a troll. It cracked me up though.
Now, one thing that though is all those other achievement systems, they're missing like the platinum trophy, and that's what makes the PlayStation feel so good. It's like Xbox, when you get all the achievements, the satisfaction of that is just seeing that you have like 600 out of 600 gamer score on that game or something. But like there's no there's a satisfaction in PlayStation when you finally get the last trophy or the second to last trophy, then boom, the platinum pops. Like, all right, you did it. Like
having that platinum is
that
special.
Different. Yeah.
And it makes it easy to compare too, right? Like you're not like, oh, well, my gamer score is 7,025. It's like I've got 5 platinums. What do you got?
It's so right. I'm not gonna lie. That's so. It's a level above. Like I can say I proudly have like 21 platinums that I earned. No cheap shit. And I look at those and I always go back to look. I'm like, what else do I have that I could platinum? And it'll make me go back. It's just like so like it's a seal of approval that you've played the game. I don't know how to like a seal. Like I platinumed that game.
I fully experienced that game. There's nothing left in that game for me to do. I've done everything. I got the platinum. I feel that. Nintendo's definitely bottom tier though, right? Like who cares about Who cares about what you've achieved in like Nintendo games?
Big reason why I don't touch my Switch is that it just has no real like for some reason it's needed now in my gaming experience.
I might be in my remake era because like I want to get through Resident Evil 2 and then I'm going to buy the Metroid Prime remake.
Very nice.
I'm going to play through that cuz I never played that one. Then I'm going to do Resident Evil 3. This is my remake era, dude.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime is fire.
What now?
Wait, I'm lying. I was thinking of Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread is the platformer one, right?
Yeah.
The remaster supposedly everybody loves though.
Yeah, Beaumont says that it's amazing. Yeah. Early contender for Game of the Year. Can you make a remake a Game of the Year though?
Well, listen,
it's not even a remake. It's just a port with like updated controls, right? And some graphical improvements. I don't know.
I'm not positive. Honestly, I never played the original either.
Well, they did do texture updates, so the textures look way better. Like the beginning scene, that waterfall from GameCube to Switch looks completely different. So it is technically like, I mean, I would say maybe they put it in like a better engine. I'm not too sure what happened.
I don't think the Prime games are GameCube games, right? They're Nintendo DS games, right?
No, they're GameCube games.
Oh,
I'm not positive.
They're GameCube games, and then they were also on the 3DS as well.
See, they would make sense if they were GameCube games because I never owned a GameCube, so that's probably why I never played them.
Actually, no, they're not on 3DS because I would have known that because I have a 3DS.
Because I remember when I was in high school, there was a kid that was in my high school. He had a Nintendo DS, and he was playing Metroid Prime.
It might be on the DS though. Yeah. It's incredible what they put on the DS. That trash ass software. It's just they shrunk all their games and made it. Oh, it was fire. I played through the first Dead Space remake that EA did, and bro, EA kind of lifted the bar right now for remakes. Hopefully, Resident Evil 4 can live up to those expectations because what they did with Dead Space is a must play.
I knew EA was in their bag when they dropped that Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And all 3 games, they updated the controls and the graphics, and like I played through all those games and they were awesome. Yeah. I was like, all right, they're gonna start cooking up some shit. Like
now we just need the EA Sports to get back on their shit. Like give us what was that game? NFL Street.
Yes.
NFL Street was good.
Yes, was good. I just played SSX 3 because I had never played it before. Mm-hmm. It's a good game. It may be one of the best SSX games I've ever played.
That's the one that lets you ride on the mountain? Yep. Like, right.
The whole mountain takes like 30 minutes to go down.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's like 30,
it's like
40
an
minutes.
Open world game, and you kind of go to like places to play like missions, so to speak. Whereas like the old SSX games were just like you pick the level and it just loaded up.
And it was like a course, right? Like it was like a single course or kind of yeah.
But what they did in SSX3 is they incorporated all those courses into the mountain. So the mountain has a bunch of different sections that are kind of like those old courses. You have the city. I haven't been all the way down, but I have been. Shout out to Xbox backward compatibility for allowing me to play that at 60 frames per second. The game runs beautiful. I wish I had like friends to like compete with, because it's like only those games that I want to do that with too. I'm like, damn, I wish I had somebody playing it right now. So we got topics, right? I gotta go real quick. What do we got? Talking about SSX, extreme sports. What kind of extreme sport would you guys would be interested in doing, if there's any at all? If you're like a weak sauce pants and you don't want to do any type of extreme sports.
All right, I'm gonna take it back, okay? To young Pooch, all right? Young Pooch, I was an inline skating phenom, okay?
Ooh.
I had my, I was on my Brink shit. Remember Brink? Disney, the straight to VHS classic Brink.
I don't remember that. What is that? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Did you ever do any?
It's some terrible movie where they he's an inline skater or something. He's skating down
1998.
Did you ever do any skitching?
No. I don't know anything. I was just kidding. I owned a pair of inline skates when I was a young rollerblades when I was a kid. And,
this is Disney original.
Yeah, the Brink, bro. Don't sleep on it. They go down the devil's ass crack or backbone or some shit like that. It's like a part of the course. Not
straight into the devil's anus.
Ooh.
Supposed to be the most dangerous course in town, the devil's ass crack.
I feel like that might not be the Disney movie name they used.
The devil's backbone is what it was called.
This kid just hit a fucking 900, bro. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
so yeah,
crazy.
I'd take it inline skating. Also, shout out on the PlayStation 1. Do you guys remember 2 Extreme?
Yeah.
This is like one of the launch games on the PlayStation, and it was like all extreme sports. It was like you I think you snowboard downhill, you ride a skateboard
BMX,
downhill, and then
mountain biking was also one of those.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember.
They lost their licensing somewhere in between the second game, so they had to rename the greatest hits of their first game One Extreme. Because it was like ESPN Extreme or some bullshit like that, and they lost that licensing, so it was 1 Extreme, 2 Extreme, and 3 Extreme. And by 3 Extreme, they kept using the same engine, so it was just like too samey. This was before Tony Hawk, though, so this is all we had.
There was this, and then after that, we got Cool Borders. Remember fucking Cool Borders?
Right up my alley. It's literally what I was gonna choose: snowboarding. I'm a big fan of snowboarding. I've never done it in my entire life, but through video games, my fucking champion. All right, I fucking dominated all these snowboarding games. There was one on the Xbox, the original Xbox. Some Xbox. It's like a launch title, Amped or some bullshit like that. I'm not sure. It was a snowboarding game. I fucking wrecked that shit. I put my own. I customized my soundtrack so I could play with my own music on the Xbox. It was like my favorite shit to do.
Nice. So I didn't know this was an extreme sport until I did my Google search about 30 minutes ago. But there's a thing called zorbing. And it's these, those big inflatable, like clear balls that you can get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This article that I'm reading is claiming that that's an extreme sport. So, that could be the option. Although I don't like the idea of having to run all the way back up the hill. You get one run, then you have to run up the hill to do that.
I know. That
might not be the option. I played a lot of Dying Light 2 recently. Maybe I'd choose parkour as my answer. I don't think I'd be good at parkour.
Oh, it should, yeah, because you jumping from building and doing crazy shit.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be good at parkour. I would be like Michael Scott doing parkour in The Office, just yelling parkour a lot.
Parkour. Just jumping into the parkour is certainly out of all the extreme sports that I'm aware of is probably the most useful one to know. Like, God forbid you're in any situation, you could climb up some wall, jump off some building. Like, you could make some moves. You know what I mean?
Our man Jackie Chan, dude, there is no wall that Jackie Chan cannot climb.
Man,
that man will bounce from side to side like a video game character. He's unstoppable.
That man's a cat.
What about you, Tony? What extreme sport are you doing?
I think I would take that wingsuit thing where you get to just jump off in a wingsuit. I'm afraid of heights, so to me this is very extreme. So I would, but I always wanted to do it. Fly through this freaking air like a squirrel, falling gradually. Like that thing would be pretty cool. Even though that's like one slip up and that's it, bro. You're hitting that thing hard.
That one seems like you got to learn how to parachute first, right? Isn't that how you stop eventually? I'm assuming you don't just like slide to a stop on the ground or something.
You're just sliding through the grass, blades of glass, like no problem.
I saw a video where a guy was wingsuiting and he was going like down a mountain and then he was going to kind of go under this bridge and fly up. But he just, boom, crashed right into the bridge. That shit was horrifying. I'm like,
that's terrifying.
I wouldn't do this.
No, yeah, I mean, they're going fast, bro. Like,
how do you think?
So, what's an extreme sport that you would never want to do?
That's what I was just thinking. Like, there's some that I just want. Like, there's extreme sports that I just wonder how people get into, like bobsledding. Like bobsledding. How do you just one day wake up and decide, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go bobsledding.
Well, first, if you were born in Jamaica, where they make the best bobsledders in the world, then it's just a natural progression. You know, you go from running on the track team to bobsledding. You know, the ice in Jamaica is fantastic for bobsledding. They made one of the worst bobsledding teams in that movie, by the way. They were terrible.
Cool runnings.
The movie ended with them just failing as a bobsledding team. It's kind of depressing.
But no, I think cliffhanger is probably the worst. People who like climb rocks.
Cliffhang?
Yeah, like they climb rocks, they climb these mountains or whatever, and then they just kind of like just build like these, like I guess a hammock pretty much, or they just hang on all day. They just be hanging around on the side of the mountain all day. That's a sport supposedly. I'm good.
See, because I would say for me, I would never want to do free climbing.
That's the same thing. They do the same thing, I think.
Well, free climbing is
climb up a mountain with no gear.
Yeah, no rappels or anything like that set up. They're just going
wild,
and they be climbing tall ass shit. Like one slip, these motherfuckers is dead. Like,
dude, I was
terrible.
So I went to the Devil's Tower on my way back from my Deadwood trip, and that thing is huge. Like it's so much bigger than you expect it to be, right? But we had like our little like spotting scope, and we were like checking it out, right? And there was a group of people just like climbing up the side of Devil's Tower. They were about halfway up, and they were over there like they had taken all their shoes off, I guess, because your feet get like dirty and like covered in like grime and shit. So they had taken their shoes off and were like kicking shit off of their feet. But man, they were about halfway up, 2/3 of the way up. It was insane.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. Just like people want to. You're on mute. People want to climb mountains free. That's yeah. I don't know what enjoyment you get out of that.
So I don't think I could do anything with heights involved. Because the next one that I would pick is street luging. All right?
That looks terrifying.
Put me on a hill and send me down the hill because I love bombing on my bike and I love the speed. That shit is thrilling and exhilarating, bro. So like I would say I'm kind of a speed freak. I like going fast down hills. So put me on a street luging and let me go under some 18-wheelers or something like that.
This man is wild.
There was an arcade machine for street luging once, and I remember I loved playing it.
Really? I don't recall ever seeing that one.
Yeah, there was a street luging arcade machine. It was very wacky. It was
How did you control it? Did you lay in the thing? Like
yeah, it's like a seat like that. It was some weird controlling. It was like, I remember pizza for some reason. It's like an Italian pizza delivery shit. I don't know. I have to look it up now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but
the coolest ones would be skateboarding and surfing, and I would choose those. But like, I don't have the balance for that. I've never had the balance for things like that. I'm probably not going to be good at parkour. But
can you swim?
I can swim.
I just asked.
Yeah,
just asking.
Yeah,
shit that you were asking with an assumption.
Because I mean, he's from Texas. They ain't really like.
It's called
like
rolling extreme
like
downhill street luge.
Well, swimming in the ocean still gets me a little nervous because I don't have a lot of beach experience in my life, but we have a ton of lakes, right? Like there's like one non-man-made lake in Texas, but Texas does have a lot of lakes. I spent a lot of time swimming in creeks and lakes.
I wouldn't trust not one creek in Texas.
Oh,
just
the water's murky, man.
In Florida.
Oh, I would never swim in like in a random lake in Florida.
Nope. There's a gator in almost every single one of them, bro.
Y'all have signs outside of every body of water. Like, there might be gators in there.
If there was one there once, there'll be another one there.
They just found a lady here in my in my Austin area that she stole an alligator from a reptile zoo like 20 years ago. And she's just been raising it in her backyard. She's got like this 9-foot gator that they just returned to the zoo.
That's wild, bro. Like, I'm surprised she's alive. Gators ain't really trustworthy like that. I seen this TikTok of a guy.
Maybe it was her bestie.
He was in a canal or something, bro. This gator came up to him for a pet. He was petting the fucking gator, bro. He's in the water, shoulders up, swimming in the water. The gator comes up like this. He's like, oh, you just want to rub again, don't you? He's rubbing the fucking gator and then pushes him away, and the gator goes on his business. I said, bro, this is the most country hick shit I've ever seen in my life. I am not trusting no gator, bro. Like, I don't care if that thing knows it's your father. Nope, not trusting that.
There are so many of these extreme sports that they break my brain as to how people get into them. Waterfall kayaking.
That seems cool.
How do you get into that? How do you just decide one day to go waterfall kayaking?
That seems cool. It seems like you're just gonna fall and you gotta land like a point, right? Like a straight 90-degree type shit coming off the damn waterfall and then flip back out. People just like, I think people are just adrenaline junkies, bro. That's all it is. The people who invent these things, they're all junkies for the rush. Like, Double is a junkie for bombing on his bike. Most dangerous thing you could do in New York, I think.
It could be dangerous. Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing.
That's
you gotta
dangerous as hell.
You gotta know your road too. You gotta know what you're riding on and where you're riding. Like, you gotta know where the potholes are at.
You know what's even dangerous than that? More dangerous than that is those people who ride those little it's like a surfboard, a skateboard, but you can lay on the skateboard and go down the side of mountains in California. You ever seen those dudes?
Street luging.
That's what I thought street luging was just bikes. I didn't know that's what that was.
No, you lay down and
yeah, nah, y'all boys is crazy out there. If y'all doing it out there and y'all watch this pod, send some clips over, but that's wild. Why?
You guys would ever do the running of the bulls?
Pucho,
I don't know, dude. I don't feel like I would get any joy out of running away from a bunch of bulls. I've run away from a lot of animals in my life. I've never enjoyed it any time that I've done it.
that Pamplona shit they do in Spain, I wouldn't do that shit.
One tumble, bored, man.
It's terrible too because the streets you run down aren't even streets you could get away. Like there's no like side roads or nothing by design because they don't want the bull to start running through the city. So it's literally a road with walls. You can't even climb up these things. It's like once you're in that bitch, you're running. You gotta run, motherfucker. You gotta get out of there. Like, some people get lucky. The bull runs and they kind of like get up against the wall and the bull just sort of passes them and shit. But I'm sure people have died doing that shit.
Facts. People probably got stabbed by the horn and everything, bro. That's not no.
Think of how gnarly that scar must be, even if you survive getting gored in the leg or something. That's
Fuck out of here.
Got to be months of PT.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I did that Spain run 1 year, that bull almost killed me. Got a scar to prove it.
Does that Red Bull Flugentag or whatever thing, does that count as an extreme sport? You know the one I'm talking about where they try to make like the flying device and then go and jump into the water?
Those are really cool. They also have the downhill. What's the race with the carts? They have a downhill race too. You have to build a cart.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's like a
it's
soapbox derby or whatever the hell?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Soapbox.
Just like little rascals.
Yeah, and you have to, your shit has to make it over like jumps, and then like a lot of people's shit fall apart. Like,
and you get to meet Reba at the end.
Yep, get a kiss.
This guy about the hell, bro, with all the movie fucking lines.
What the fuck's her name? Reba what?
Reba McEntire, dude.
McEntire.
Someone had a crush on Reba.
There's Doughy. Doughy was talking about his crush.
She was very pretty in the movie Little Rascals.
This sport says that it's called barefooting, and it says it's just like water skiing, but without the skis.
Oh, I've seen that. That looked like it'll cut the shit out of you, the bottom of your foot, though. I don't know. I do want to, you know what? I do want to try wakeboarding. That looks cool.
Wakeboarding is cool.
You've done it?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, wakeboarding's super cool.
How hard is it to start? I heard that's what the problem is. People don't know how to start it correct.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass, dude. I can't even explain like how you do it. You just start feeling like where the balance point is on the board.
Damn.
Better than wakeboarding, you can go volcano boarding. What do you guys feel about that?
Oh, what do you mean volcano?
What is volcano boarding?
Hell no.
Using your heels and brakes
No.
it is possible to clock speeds up to 56 miles per hour. It's like a sled on top of a mountain that is kind of active.
Oh, okay. I was picturing you sliding down on the lava. First of all, I want to know the device or the instrument that you're using to ride the lava, because that shit is not melting. Tato? But nah, that's stupid. We don't want to ride down a mountain.
How do you invent sports like this?
I don't know. I think somebody one day just said, hey, this could be a sport, and they just started doing it, and it got popular. Almost like how golf got invented.
I'm surprised you didn't choose like BMX or something, Doughy.
Doughy don't know how to
Oh
BMX.
yeah, no, that downhill BMXing, downhill like biking and stuff like that, mountain biking, that would be like a close one adjacent to something I would try like today.
I don't think you'll be able to do it. It's not easy. BMXing is very difficult. You gotta be athletic as fuck. I've tried it as a kid growing up.
I'm not talking about like BMX, like I'm not, you know. I like
Oh,
it.
you're talking about not the tricking, not the doing the trick stuff on all that?
I'm just talking about going down a hill on like a mountain bike and stuff.
Yeah, I need to see this video.
You would kill that shit, though.
Yeah, I need to see this video of this guy, Danny Hart, going downhill.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
And the best part of the video are the announcers. They're so hyped for this guy. He sets a record on this course, and they're just screaming their ass off the whole time he's riding down.
But he's
One
also
time they
making
hit a jump, he hits like a little trick, and the guy's like, he can't even get any more words out. And then the ending, the guy just says, "How can Danny Hart sit down with balls so big?" But the guys are like, Danny Hart's on the ride of his life. They might be Australian. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe British. I think they're British.
Wait,
One of the greats.
So would any of us do bungee jumping or anything like that? I've never had any interest in going bungee jumping.
I'm super good off of that.
I'm good off that. I'm going to trust a sling that's been used several thousand times. Nah.
This one says it's called canyon swinging. It says to take a long piece of rope, attach one end to your harness and the other end to the edge of a cliff or bridge, then jump.
No thanks.
I had a parachute on, I'll try it. That way, if it snaps, I could just snap the parachute.
You never
Usually you don't find out it snaps until the end.
No. Well, a tie like a not a noose, but tie something to the parachute thing. So if that does snap, it'll pop that, and then boom, you're good to go. Like, I'm fine with that. I'll take a risk like that, but
Have you ever seen a parachute fail? Like, and then not properly?
Then it was meant for me to die that day. That's it. If two safety devices snap, it's meant for me to go, bro.
You'll go into like almost a controlled dive. You'll just keep spinning really fast to the ground.
Man, you're gonna have the spins before you die. That's the worst.
I think the idea of skydiving seems really cool, but I don't know if it's anything I have an interest in doing.
I had a friend that went skydiving, and she had problems with vertigo for years afterwards.
Really?
From skydiving?
She got really bad vertigo from jumping out of a plane.
Huh. Vertigo is where you lose balance, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It was also a very shocking experience, and I think she was just dealing with like the PTSD from jumping out of a plane. I think people think like, "Oh, it's so fun, it's great." I was like, you're jumping out of a plane. This shit is a shocking. It's really.
I saw a compilation the other day of like just a bunch of people passing out on like carnival rides, like the slingshot ride and like roller coasters and things. You see like their friend next to them having a blast. Their arms are up. The other person puts their arms up, and then they just slump over it and flopping everywhere.
Those are my favorites. And then when they put the Windows shutdown sound to it, that shit is hilarious.
And my favorite is when they keep waking up
and getting scared all over again.
They pass out again.
Dude, so it seems frightening, dude. Some of them, they wake up mid-fall, and they wake up, and you can see their eyes get all big, and then they pass out again.
You could probably die of a heart attack with all that scare, bro. That shit's crazy. I would passing out, waking up, and passing out for the same thing you passed out for 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Nah, you got to stop the ride at some point. That's why I always had a fear of roller coasters. Like, I'm not a big fan of roller coasters, bro. But like, it's funny though, because once I ride it and I get over it, I want to ride it again. It's fun now at that point. But it's just that initial first step, getting seated, all that. It's just like, I ain't liking it. I don't feel good.
When I was a kid, I was all about the roller coaster. Now as an adult, I'm just like, I know how little they keep up with this stuff. Like, like the Universal and the things like that. They have all these crazy safety systems. Like, in order for those things to fail, a lot of things had to have gone wrong. Mm-hmm. But like, you go to a place like the South Florida Fair and you try to ride one of these rides, like, them dudes ain't servicing these rides at these places. Nope. Like, you're gambling your life on like 14 seconds of fun,
You're gambling your life on someone that's making, minimum wage and is probably treated badly at their job.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I don't know if I would ride any of the carnival rides. Like, those like little carnivals just set up randomly in like Walmart parking lots and shit. I don't know if I would go to one of those anymore, but I used to.
I used to love those, but now as like an adult, I'm like, shit.
Now I can see why my parents shut that idea down all the time whenever we're like, we should go to that carnival right there on this side of the road. And they'd be like, maybe later. And then later never came.
Later's never coming.
No, yeah, that's like the South Florida Fair that we have here in Florida. I don't ride none of those rides.
I like a little jank in my roller coasters. I like old wooden roller coasters because you can feel the track shaking.
That's nah.
The cyclone in New York is scary. Shit is fucking scary. Yeah.
There's a ride in New York?
Yeah, in Coney Island. It's a very old roller coaster.
I've never made it to Coney anytime that I've gone to New York. We should do Coney next time.
We should do Coney next time.
How long of a train ride is that?
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking ass.
From your apartment, from your house?
Yeah.
That seems way too long.
Yeah, because you lived in Jamaica. You lived close to Coney Island.
What if we take one of those Uber helicopters?
They got Uber helicopters?
Uber helicopter has to exist.
They drop the rope ladder in front of your building and you just climb up the rope ladder.
I thought it was a real shit. Fuck y'all. I was excited.
Tony, the rich people have a different Uber app than we have. They've got an Uber helicopter. They got an Uber submarine.
I would take an Uber submarine.
Yeah, I just don't recommend anybody do anything at Coney Island. Like,
Why?
It's a waste of time. If you ask me, I've
dude,
been
because
there.
that shit has been there since like the 60s or some shit.
But it's where the Warriors were trying to get back to, Pucho.
Yeah,
They're trying to get home. The Warriors trying to get home. I would go to Nathan's and get a hot dog. Okay,
Is that where you get the best hot dogs?
Nathan's they're good
arguably,
hot
yeah.
dogs.
arguably yes.
Aren't they
It's
long
like
and
a-
skinny like regular?
They're
No, they're not long. They're long. And
What's
thick.
the
I'm not even joking. Them Nathan's, those are some girthy dogs.
Doughboy, what's the ones you bought down here? Was it called Hebrew something you said?
Hebrew
Like some
National.
Hebrew
This is-
National.
I thought that's
You
what I
ain't
was
trying to
thinking
fucking
of. Okay.
Hebrew Nationals are good dogs too. I mean,
They're good.
both of them
They're
are like
kosher.
all beef kosher dogs. Like
100% beef.
It's what
you
you
need
want.
that beef.
Absolutely.
yep.
That's
I need
Yeah,
that meat in my mouth.
Yeah, we should do a Warriors New York trip and just go to Coney Island. That's going to be our whole goal for the day is just to get back to Coney Island.
We should go to Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx and then walk to Coney Island like the Warriors.
That's a long trip. I'm down though.
Yeah. They did the train for a little while, but then the cops pulled up on them. They had to dip. But
So that scene, they said it was in Van Cortlandt, but it's at 96th Street in Riverside. I dropped all the locations in the Discord a few days ago, and I was looking at all the locations and where they did like the "Can you dig it?" That was in a park that I used to play in all the time, and I had no fucking idea.
That's rad.
I rode by it yesterday and I looked over and it's literally right there on the side of the road. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is literally where it happened. Very cool. I looked at some of the pictures. The 14th Street station still has the street sign, the tiles pointing to the street from when it was in the movie.
That's
Those
awesome.
tiles are still there.
sheesh.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd be
New
so
York's
I'd
an
be
old
so,
place.
I'd be so down for a trip for like a day where we just do like all the Warriors locations we want to go to.
Where you guys stayed at in Riverside and 82nd was 10, 15 blocks away from like where that happened. You guys were right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this much. I don't think I want to do any walking like that without the proper shoes. Last time, y'all
Let's
fucked
save
me
us
up.
from this topic, Tony. This shit's going. This is the longest. This is longer than the Warriors had to travel. Okay, to
It's a
get back
possibility,
home
yeah.
and survive. Okay, this is the journey of epic proportions, and
Just
we need to
like-
move on.
Just like the last episode of being distracted, how much have cell phones damaged society? Always
I
on
was
the
looking
phone.
at his phone right now.
Yeah, you see? Can't hold a conversation without the phone in their hand. They're too
He
distracted.
doesn't even hear you. That's the crazy part.
So, as
Look at him.
a perfect
He
example,
doesn't know what's happening. This is insane.
this is why it's a topic. Fucking Doughboy. So, Doe, what do you think about that?
I think it's awesome.
He don't know what the hell I said. But yeah, you guys think that cell phones damage society? Just, casual conversations or trying to talk to somebody, like, it is a distracting device. Like,
I think that cell phones. I mean, they definitely help society more than they hurt society, right? But there is some hit to attention span and things like that. TikTok is wild. TikTok is just like ADHD, the app to me.
Yeah.
Was it one of y'all talking about the new meme format where it's like a video on top of another video with another video or some shit like that? It's like 3 videos mashed together.
nah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, someone was just telling me about some new meme format that it's like a video on top of a video. So there's 2 videos going on at the same time.
Sounds like me watching 6 movies at the same damn time.
Mm-hmm.
Doing
I
that.
got a harsh cut for this one.
Har-
I think cell phones, smartphones, negative down to society.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just all addicted to it and we don't really acknowledge it at all. How addicted we are to our phones, how much we need our phones next to us. If you just take a day without your phone, how much you think about your phone, you'll go fucking crazy. Did somebody text me? Did somebody like that post that I put up? Did somebody view the fucking podcast? There's just so much shit that you want to know in the morning when you wake up. So I don't know. I think net minus for society, but I get how it's brought us all together, and it's brought people from the other side of the world together. But I could remember us not having like major internet, like 2003 DSL just came out. I just wish I want to live in that era again.
Well, think back in like the 90s or something, right? If we had all known each other back then, we were all friends. You lived up in New York, these two lived in Florida, in different cities. I lived in Texas. How would we all ever talk to each other? My parents wouldn't approve me calling y'all collect on the phone and doing a 4-way call.
Hell no. Not even that though. Back then in the days too, like there wasn't as much accidents that I can remember. Also, I wasn't driving, but cell phones weren't like a main factor. You know, texting and driving or TikToking and driving. Like,
you saying there weren't that many accidents back in the day?
Due to being on your phone and distracted, I would say. There's other forms of accidents that can happen, but I don't think cell phones was a thing to do while you were driving like how it is now. Like everybody, you drive down the road, everybody has their phone in their hand and they're going like this. Everybody, doesn't matter the age or nothing. Every single person.
I agree with that statement. I think that those mounts that people put their phones on in the car, I think those are probably bad for us because you're poking at those every time you have a chance.
Like, I mean, when I talk to you guys, I put the phone on the mount and I'm driving. I'm talking to you guys. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's different from like holding and texting and looking at shit. Like, it's just like, nah, bro. Like, I don't know.
I never look at my phone while I drive. Like, I don't text. I don't look nothing up or anything like that. In fact, this week was the first time in my life that I put my phone near like my speed gauge. And we were like on a FaceTime. That's the first time I ever done that. I don't have any mount or anything like that for my car. Like I just have never done anything like that.
It was a cool angle. I thought that angle was super cool when we were doing that FaceTime
through the fucking steering wheel. Like,
I was also thinking about how weird it was to see you drive because I only ever see you on like vacation mode, and we're not driving anywhere. We're just Ubering everywhere we go.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, I could go a long amount of time without using my cell phone. I'm just not hooked on it. Like I know a lot of people are. Like my wife, she's like hooked to her fucking phone. Like she can't live without it. I'm hooked to other things. Like going days without playing my PlayStation, I'll be a little upset. I'm like, all right, I'm not living my life to the degree that I want. Or like going days without using a computer, I'd be like, all right, this ain't it. All right.
That's why I like to disconnect every now and then. I like to take like a camping trip where I don't have service or something, and it's just, you know, whatever enjoyment I have out in the woods or at the lake or wherever I'm at.
That's extreme sporting.
You know the new camping spots. You know what they're doing? Wi-Fi everywhere, baby.
I do enjoy me some glamping. I'm not gonna lie, glamping is superior to camping, but I still like being able to disconnect.
I need them. I need functional bathrooms. I need toilets. You know, showers. You know what I mean? I need my camping fancy. All right.
That's fair. I like some.
Yeah, like
camping.
my version of unplugging is like, I'll go travel to like another city or something like that, and just like, I still have my phone. I still have my Switch. Probably now that I travel, I'm gonna have my Steam Deck and shit like that. But it's like being out of the house, not playing my PlayStation, not using a computer every day. I do feel good in terms of like taking a step back from the amount of technology that I use. And even when I'm on these vacations, like I have my Switch or some handheld console. It's really for the commutes, like when I'm flying in the plane and stuff like that. Once we touch down, I'm not really doing much with anything. I'm usually spending time with people and things like that. So I do enjoy that. I just would not like to sleep on the ground. That doesn't seem interesting to me.
I don't know. I think glamping, I guess, that's the first time I ever heard of camping, but like that. But I wouldn't mind a bathroom. Wi-Fi, I don't need the Wi-Fi. If I'm there to chill and socialize with people, like camping, you don't go there to browse the internet and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing the whole.
You're muted, Doughy.
I need that RV with AC.
See, Doughy doesn't want to go camping. Doughy just wants to be outside.
Satellites in there and just chilling.
I don't enjoy it often, but there is something nice about going camping and just sweating your ass off. Just like getting a good sweat going from like no AC, just being out of the middle of the Texas heat. Something nice about that.
Nah, you lose me at the sweat part. I don't mind having a fan or something or some. Yeah, I don't want to sweat. I hate sweating when I sleep. That's the worst. Definitely would like to go camping though. Maybe hunting a little bit. Catch our meat and eat it that night. That'd be pretty cool. Skin it, all that shit. That's that real camping.
Living on the lamb.
Living on the land, and then not lamb. Lamb is like you're running, right? Like you're running away from police.
I'm just joking about this. Was a previous short, like 50 episodes ago.
Living on the lamb.
Every time I've gone on a camping trip with like and the intention was like, we're gonna catch some fish, we're gonna fry them up and all. We never catch anything. We catch the tiniest little fish, and it's like, I guess we're gonna do hot dogs tonight.
Thank God we brought the dogs.
Nah, bro.
Honestly,
I need to be able to order Domino's.
Oh my God.
Get me a cabin, son.
We need to take Doughy on a camping trip. We need to do a no phone challenge camping trip for Doughy.
He wouldn't know what to do with himself. No Switch, no Vita, no none
Doughy,
of that.
Doughy, here's what we'll do. We're gonna do a no phone camping trip, but we're gonna give you a GoPro so you can record your thoughts throughout this camping trip.
Yo, he'll be complaining as much as I was during our live stream of Resident Evil.
It's gonna be
stupid. I don't got
you
nothing.
can document it, and at the end, you can put a man slowly losing his mind.
The last scene is gonna be that from the Blair Witch, just the camera in his face. I'm so bored.
But no, back to the topic though. I do think that electronic devices have definitely changed society, but for the most part, it is a positive aspect. But damn, bro, like you literally, I don't know. Anytime we talk to somebody, we hang out. There's not one time where you can go where no one's touching their cell phone, and it is an addiction. And I think maybe that should be looked at. Like you can't be away from any type of device. Like I don't know.
That'd be y'all though. Like when I be chilling with Tony, Ever, my brother, I be sitting there staring at these guys and they be looking at their phones. And I be like, yo, y'all boys, like we chilling, we talking, we drinking, and y'all just be plugged to the phones. I think that's just crazy.
Bro, you be there reading comics the whole time or searching up whatever we're talking
comics
about.
When I'm hanging out with people. You're tripping.
Oh, I wish Brian Ever were here.
Oh my God.
The one thing that pisses me off the most is Instagram and the type of person that it's created, where they have to like overshare and like, you know how I know someone isn't enjoying their vacation? When their fucking every second of their vacation is being put on Instagram for everyone else to know. Like a lot of the times when I'm at concerts, if I'm on vacation, I don't really do that much. Like I'm not very much on Instagram to begin with, but yeah, that shit is very annoying to me. I have and I love them. And they're my friends, but they do some annoying stuff. I have friends that they're like travel people, they're travel experts and shit. Mm-hmm. So like they went to their travels 2 years ago. I'm still seeing pictures from their travels that are like brand new, that they're like trying to convince the world that they're doing this. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's such like your head gets blown up way bigger.
I'm a weird person, man. I take pictures when I've gone to like New York and Florida and things like that. Those pictures never end up on social media. I just take these pictures and they just live in my little like pictures folder for me.
Yeah, like I still got pictures from when we all hanged out that I've never posted or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those weird things where like you kind of forget and then you're like, oh, I'll post it. Like, But I mean, yeah, I get it though. Doughboy's right. Like I feel like if you're like on a cruise or something like that, and you're on the phone, look, it's like, at least save it for the end of the day. Like, enjoy the moment that you're in, that you pay hundreds of dollars for, at least. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
I like the
I
idea.
get annoyed whenever I'm out on vacation or we're doing things, and the people around me just keep telling me to pose for pictures. It's so annoying. I'm like,
Oh man,
Pucho.
or like I'm experiencing this like nice moment with my daughter, and my wife's like, get a camera, take a picture of this, and I'm like, but I was enjoying the moment. Like,
dude, my family is all about that, and in its variations. It's like, okay, now all the brothers. Okay, now all the sisters and the girl cousins.
God.
the cousins.
Okay, now we want the boy and the girl cousins.
Oh my God.
And then it's the variations with some elders, and the elders are swapping out, and it's hard.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to tell him next time. It's like, no, you get one. I brought a green screen. I'm going to do one pose. You just Photoshop me into all the rest of the pictures.
But that was just like in the back of every fucking picture.
Oh my God. Or you hit this one so that somebody could be.
Ooh. There's this challenge that I like to do at bars sometimes, where you put all your phones in the middle of the table, and the first person to reach for their phone is the person that's buying the next round of drinks.
Oh, I don't like that.
I like that one.
I don't like that.
Especially when you start having those bar conversations, you're like, oh man, it's that one actor, you know, he was in The Wire and he's got that face. You're trying to figure out who it is. And someone's like, I'm going to grab my phone. I got to look it up. I'll buy the next round.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that game.
Shout out Tedley. He said the Snowfall is better than The Wire.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a hot take. That's a take of epic proportions, all right?
The hottest take.
Yeah.
What is
I love
Snowfall?
my man, but I like Snowfall. I'm a fan of Snowfall. It's a show about how the crack epidemic started in the hood, pretty much.
Gotcha.
So you see like the CIA smuggling cocaine into the hood and selling it to people, and then people learning how to cook crack and all that kind of stuff. It's a great show. It's not better than The Wire. It's just not.
Doughy, you might be in charge of getting us to this next topic.
Yeah. Talking about topics.
You don't have the sheet pulled up to you.
This is gonna be a rough one. When you achieve, like, let's say any of us, we either won the lottery, one of us, does really well on this podcast, and we rocket up into superstar status. Should you let go of your old ways and stay out of trouble, or change the people you hang out with? Now,
so you're saying, should I keep doing my hood rat shit then? Like, if I get my come up, should I keep doing that?
Now that I realize how this is framed, this is all about John Morant. So John Morant recently flashed the gun. He went to the strip club. Nothing wrong going to a strip club paying. You're just being you're just being a human being at that point. If you go to a strip club, stuff like that. But apparently he's been doing a lot of hot boy stuff. I did not know that he was this. I didn't know he was this neighborhood. I didn't know like that he was really about that. But apparently he is very about that life, and he was trying to prove it these past like week and a half, 2 weeks, and he got caught under fire, and a lot of people are criticizing him. You had who is this? These two guys, the black guy Shannon Sharp, and this other guy went into him, and then Stephen A. Smith, and then another guy was defending him, and it was a big conversation. So when you think once you guys achieve like superstar status, are you gonna stay the same person, or do you have to change?
I mean, I think you absolutely change. Just the things you start to consume, the habits you start to form, the new activities you participate in. Like, of course, you're going to be different. I do find it shitty that, like, for some professions, you do need to change your situation.
Yeah.
Like if you are a rapper, let's say, and you live in the ghetto, and part of your whole shtick is like you're a gang member and you're doing all this gang banging and all this stuff. It's like staying in the hood where staying in the hood's gonna attract an amount of attention and is gonna get you caught up in some bullshit. Like we've seen plenty of rappers that just stood in the hood for too long and they just get shot and killed. And it's like our reaction is always like, man, once you made it, you need to get the fuck up out the hood. There's too many haters. There's too many people that maybe don't like you from back in the day. Now you're like a target because you're successful and all that type of shit. But I don't think it's the same for other professions, though.
But there's a flip side to that too, though, right? Because we talked about this on the podcast before, where if you do leave the hood and you start leaving that behind, they're like, oh, he's not actually from the hood anymore. He's not repping what the shit that he talks about in his songs.
Yep. He left. He dipped out. He went to go live with the white people. They'll say all sorts of shit. So that's what keeps a lot of these artists, like Young Dolph got killed, Bankroll Fresh. I could just go down the line. Chinks Drugs from French Montana's people. They all went back to they all got killed in their neighborhood that they grew up in. So it's like, where's like everyone is out to prove a point, right? But like, is that point worth proving? Should you go that hard to prove that you're like the manliest man in the room? I think John. Go ahead.
It's a question of identity, right? Like, it's like the Eminem thing. This is a weird example, but he raps about this in some songs. But he talks about there's a line where he's like, they say that I can't rap about being broke anymore, blah, 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 because, he was a fucking multimillionaire at that point in his career. And there's this identity issue of like, what I rapped about was all the struggles I had coming up. And now I don't have those struggles. So is my sound still authentic? Is my message still authentic because I can't rap about this shit anymore? What do I rap about now that my problems are I have too much money and people want to use me and things like that?
Yeah, I agree. I think personally, that's a big issue with hip hop is when you see these artists that started out, and they're rapping one way, and in order to continue rapping that way, they have to continue living like this rugged sort of life. And I think it gets very mixed up. You have the whole YSL case in Atlanta, and, they want to be a gang so bad. They want to, you know what I mean? The lines of business and gang, like, were intersecting, and it shit just doesn't work out.
So what is the solution? Like, what would y'all do? Let's say you got some kind of come up in the next like month or so. Are you changing your ways, or what would y'all do in this kind of situation?
Definitely I'm about being professional, and like if I'm in a profession of any sort of way, that's going to be my life. You know what I mean? I got to make sure I protect that and continue that and build whatever I'm trying to build there. It's like, even if I became a chef, like let's say I became a famous chef, you know what I mean? That doesn't really change anything about the neighborhood you live in and stuff like that. But you want to be about your profession. So would I move closer to my job? Yeah. I'd probably move out of my neighborhood and like go downtown and live closer to like the restaurants and try to like soak up that scene, try new dishes. And that'll be my life. You would probably not see me. You see me grow on this channel wide, probably become a fat fuck because I'm like trying out all the best. You know what would be cool though? I would like to get into infused cooking with like THCs and stuff like that, create the right dishes.
That's a movement right now, dude. Little like pot restaurants, boutique restaurants like that are opening up.
Yeah. Not too much marijuana, but like just the right amount to give you like a nice buzz. Like the steak, you're gonna eat that steak. That steak is gonna get you lit, and it's gonna give you like a little nice high. And you're like, yo, this is fire. Something like that.
But, yeah, I like the idea of staying true to yourself, right? Like I think there's a lot of like to respect in that. And granted, like the situation I painted is different for us. Like none of us are involved in. We're not running the streets. Anyone on this podcast, I don't think, unless there's some very secret like Second Life things going on here. I don't know what Tony's free time looks like.
Yeah, I mean, for my current living situation, I'm living in a pretty decent neighborhood. So like, if I were to achieve like some rapid success, unless it was like crazy public, I just wouldn't really change much or anything at all. But if I was still living in the hood, like by my mother's crib or where we grew up back in the day, like I'd get the fuck up out of there in a heartbeat. Like I'll take the L of not being authentic anymore, or of like losing my hood credibility or whatever. I would take that L in order to like secure the bag for my future and for my family and shit like that. Like
it's so weightless. It's so like, if you think about it, these are just words. These are just whose credibility? Like, what is this? The FICO hood rating? You got a FICO hood score? Like, who is there? A HR for this fucking department? Like, where? This is when you think about it. It's so simple. It's like, yeah, of course you're gonna fucking fuck all this bullshit. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit funny when people talk about that, and it just is very weird to me. That someone has to stay so authentic. I used to be very into it when I was young. Like, yeah, he's Jeezy. He's real authentic. Gucci Man is real authentic, all right? Gucci Man is so authentic that in his first song, I'm So Icy, he paid a crackhead to do the fucking hook. And the guy, and I'm so icy. That's a crackhead that he made. It's fucking hilarious.
Did not know that.
It's very authentic, all right? So it's just, back in the day, it was very important to me. Those type of things. Those little fun facts, all right?
I will say this, as much as I'm telling people to get the fuck up out the hood and all of that, there's certainly a dip in music quality. Those first albums in hip hop where everybody's going through that struggle, they got so much pain and so much trauma and all this stuff to like tap into and to make music. And once they make it and they get out the hood and all of that, the music changes. And it's not necessarily worse, but for me, it tends to be less interesting. Like, I don't want to hear you rap about your success. I only want to hear about your troubles, and it's shitty, but
I think Biggie is one of the only artists that I actually really enjoy hearing rap about his success. I think the way that he frames things, the way that he words things, the way that he kind of like presents the two sides together at the same time, I enjoy it. I think that he's probably the best at doing that.
I never knew who that fat bitch Delarice was until I looked him up. I was like, who's Delarice? And it was it's like a funny thing. Back in the day, it was like a show. A woman called Delarice, just big woman. But it was nice. I was like, yeah,
what's
awesome.
The context?
I don't know. I just Biggie, and then he just, provided me a lot of his talking about his youth and shit like that. Okay. I liked it. Big L was another big one for me. If he should have got out the hood, like he was one of the best rappers in New York, and being from the hood, and you know what I mean. Yeah, man. Everybody, his music to me is the only like old New York music that has like transcended time, and I'm like, okay, this sounds very old, but this also is very fire.
Yeah, Big L's just like a master of his craft, and but he got shot apparently 9 times in the face, or something absurd like that. So like, he got, and I think it was mistaken identity. I don't think they meant to kill that guy. I think they thought it was somebody else or some shit like that. And like Stack Bundles got shot too, like similar situation, just being in the hood type of shit. Like,
it's just not worth it.
I mean, there's some aspect of this that's beyond their control, right? Like if you're in a gang, I don't imagine that just because you make it, the gang is going to be like, yeah, you're good now, dude. just go on and do your thing. You're out.
I I have heard that there are players, athletic players that were in gangs. And I'm sure that the gang is like, you know what I mean? Don't say nothing about it. You do your thing, you know what I mean? You make that legal money and you give us a little kickback every once in a while. But I don't think even the gangs are like trying to, because even it was the big thing in rap. You remember in the 2010s, 2015s? Oh, everybody was blood. Pyro, everybody was blood. Everybody was throwing up the big B's and Chris Brown and everybody. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So that was like a big thing back in the day too. And I never understood. I mean, I guess I understand the appeal, but
I would uppercut Chris Brown if he threw my phone into the crowd.
yeah,
it's a big dude.
He still gets an uppercut if you throw my phone into an audience. You get an uppercut.
yeah.
So what's the story here? Chris Brown threw somebody's phone.
Yeah, Doughy knows. Doughy knows.
Yeah. So Chris Brown brought this girl up on the stage to do like a sexy dance on her on a chair, and he's working his shit. Fucking Chris Brown in it out, you know what I mean? He's doing his thing, and she takes her phone out and she starts like recording or doing like an IG live or some shit like that. And then he notices like she doesn't give a fuck about him dancing of her. She just wants the clout. She just wants to get that clout real quick. So he takes that fucking phone and tosses that shit into the crowd, and she's like, ah.
That's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, very shitty thing to do. He felt like he was more important than, her wanting to get the cloud off. Which I don't get why he wouldn't just let her record. It's weird.
It feels like it's just the expected thing now. You get on stage, you're popping, you're getting that video going.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, it seems very selfish. He's like, nuh-uh, only I can get this attention. It just feels very weird.
Just throw my unlocked phone into a crowd. Get out of here.
Yeah, I think somebody else did it too. Somebody else did that. Lil Uzi or someone.
That's wild.
Yeah. But let's what about this hypothetical? This podcast makes it fucking booming, fucking Joe Rogan status, bro. Spotify deals, fucking Pucho becomes the next Joe Budden, and just like at all the fucking people that come on this podcast, he just like, why are you so happy as a rapper? It's like, what then? Do we stop? Do we move out of our houses? I don't think I need to move out of my neighborhood. You know what I mean?
I think we should move to a common place and get like a studio or something. That's obvious.
That would probably be the move. And the best way to do it would be to move to some just somewhere in the middle, like Ohio or something, somewhere where it's just cheap to live.
Pucho says no. I wanted to go to Jupiter, Florida. And you said, fuck you. What are you talking about, Jupiter, Florida?
Where is Jupiter, Florida at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's a cool location. Coming live from you, Jupiter, Florida.
The problem is you gotta go to a place that's popping. Like you gotta be in New York,
Miami,
or LA, or Miami.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
If you want people like popular guests and stuff like that, these are cities where people are gonna be. Like, there's a lot of buying to get somebody to fly to bumfuck Ohio. You know what I mean? Like,
what if we set up shop in the Electric City, in Scranton?
Ooh. There's no international. Yeah, you would have to have like an international airport.
We could film all our episodes inside that Chili's that they recorded that Office episode from.
What about good old Palm Beach? Just a big old headquarters in Palm Beach.
Palm Beach is going to be underwater in about 15 years, dude.
Right?
That ocean is rising.
Yeah, that's been the claim to fame. They keep building seawalls up on those private rich people islands and shit. Shit keeps raising every year, bro. This is ridiculous.
Oh, we're here with our co-host Tony El Caballo.
Yeah, co-hosting today.
He's coming in hot.
Yeah,
We
sorry,
were talking
boys.
about the last topic, which I'm guessing you put up because of Ja Morant. Like,
Facts.
you won't talk about it. Spit your facts. I want to hear what
Give you the quick
want to talk about.
rundown. If you're in sports,
You don't got to intro it. Just what's
yeah,
your
I'm not
thoughts
introing
on
it. If you're in sports,
go ahead. Hit a spiel.
If you're in
Yeah, just talk about it.
if you're in sports and
go ahead, Tony.
you make millions of dollars, right? And you think for some reason you still gotta act hood, act gangster, act reckless when you got $1 million contracts. You gotta, once you sign that paper, that contract, you know, you gotta act a certain way in and outside of the court, handle yourself, you know, there's things that you agree with. Why the fuck are you fucking up the bag to put an image out first off, Ja Morant was never known as a gangster. He had both his parents, real name Clarence, went to private school and all. He did all that shit, right? Boy, I put this stunt up, posting Instagram pics with guns, doing a lot of dumb shit. I do think, and it's not just him, just across the whole, you know, sports in general. It's just like, carry yourself a certain way, because at the end of the day, that's your job, right? It's something you love to do. It's fun, it's whatever, but that's a job. Like, all of us, we can't go to our jobs and fucking smoke weed at the office, get drunk, come in, leave whenever. Like, you can't do that. You got to handle yourself a certain way. And I think it's really your friends.
This man sounds a little bit like Stephen A. Smith up here. Stephen A. Smith hates marijuana. Why does he hate people smoking weed so much?
I don't hate it. I don't use it. I don't hate it and I don't use it. I'm just saying that's just like one of those things to where people live for their friends. Like what, you know what I mean? Like, if all my friends were gangsters and hood niggas and all did all this shit and still in the set, and I'm $1 million ball player, I should not really be hanging out with them.
What if you were to use your money to elevate your friends and get them out of that lifestyle? Is that something that you think is worth trying to do if you're in that position?
Yeah. Like, if you guys are we grew up together, you guys watched my back through high school and fought for me and watched my back. Yeah, I'm going to bring y'all up. I'm like, yo, let's get out the hood, bro. Y'all boys don't got to live that life no more. And you're willing to change? Fuck it. And we chilling. If not, you have to begin to separate yourself. It's going to cause friction with the set, with your crew, whatever. But you're going to have to separate yourself, because at the end of the day, you got to provide for yourself or your family or whoever. And if your friends can't see that, yo, we got to stop acting a certain way. We got to stop living like this. I got it. I'm going to give it to y'all. Let's move up. You got to let people go. It's better to cut ties with people that are not going to elevate you or you know, or not willing to see that, hey, I might fuck around and get him fucked up. Let me not do that. I don't know. It's just a maturity factor, I think, too. Like, I don't know. I think it is dumb, though. People do need to change who or what they do. You don't need to go back to the hood and act like you're still part of the set or do whatever the fuck it is you're doing. You know what I mean? You don't got to do that no more once you're rich.
I don't disagree with most of that. I think that there is. I mean, you see this with the lotto, right? Like like people that win the lotto, their lives statistically get worse. Like, they get much worse after they win the lotto. And getting drafted to an NBA team or an NFL team or something like that is kind of the same thing. You suddenly have all the money in the world, and it feels like the sports organizations themselves could support that a little bit better to give people coaching on how to manage themselves, I guess, like take care of themselves, make sure that money's not going to screw up their lives.
That's why you got to have a good manager. Like, if I become like rich in the sport team or whatever, I'll get somebody like a Pucho or Ever or my cousin or whatever to tell me, yo, cause y'all not afraid to tell me when I'm fucking up. Y'all be the first to try to call my shit out. Like, you need somebody like that. When you're rich and you're famous or you're an athlete or a superstar, you need someone to humble you down and to tell you, yo, you're fucking wildin'. What you're doing right now, you know. Let's
usually,
you know?
Usually your accountant is the one that's telling you that. If you have one that's honest, and usually your accountant is like, this is not gonna last.
I mean, you get into I've heard you get into situations like this though, when you're like that wealthy and you're surrounded by people. that people just aren't like. Tony's right. Like people just aren't telling you that. There's not a Pucho in your life being like that. You can be like, hey man, am I bugging? And they're gonna be like, yeah. You're bugging real hard. Calm down. They're gonna be like, nah. That's all on Doughy. That's all on Mateo. They're being over the top.
Nah, yeah.
I think when you're successful, a bunch of yes men come around you because they think
that's what you
like,
want.
all right, if we just like reinforce this guy's opinions or worldviews and things like that, that he'll keep us along for the ride. Like, you know, everything will be all kosher and you know. But yeah, unfortunately for the person involved, yeah, you do need pushback. You need reality checks and shit.
You need
like that.
someone that's gonna keep you a Hebrew national with it. You know what I mean? Kosher.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you were going.
I didn't know where that statement was going.
I was like, you better fix this.
Keep things kosher with you.
Yeah, I remember last time the Hebrews came up, it got crazy around here.
But
I thought it was gonna be something about hot dogging or something.
there was a video, damn it. Nah. But nah, yeah, fucking yeah. That's my take on it. It's just like you got to change yourself, bro. The money's up. Don't get your funny up, but you know, get right. Get right.
What?
You know, don't get your funny up.
Oh, fuck
You never heard of that? Don't get your funny up.
Don't
I don't
get your
think
funny up.
anybody's
Get
ever
your
heard
money up. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Don't act stupid. Don't be dumb. Don't do dumb shit. Get your money right. Be about your money. Be about your business. Handle yourself accordingly. You know? I'm sorry that y'all don't understand slang.
You know what else you got to get up? We got to get them likes up, dude.
Facts.
Get those fucking likes
fucking
up,
likes
guys.
up. Let me get a round of applause from Mateo real quick for dropping gems for these fucking people out here. That's it. You don't need that much.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go to my head. Surround myself by a bunch of yes men.
Yeah, I gotta humble you. But nah, yeah, man. Get your fucking subscribes up, boys. I need everybody in our friend group, friends of the family, and everybody else in there. Hit that red button. Hit the bell. Whatever the hell fucking our boy said from Australia, 2 and 1, all that shit. I need all that love. Send it.
And once we hit 500, I'm gonna pick my special person from the pod that follows us, and he'll be my golden cock ring award. He'll get the golden cock ring award, and it'll be my face.
Matter of fact, the 500 subscriber to our YouTube page, Doughy would get your name tatted on his chest live
Wow.
on the pod.
It's not happening.
It's already done. You got to do it now.
No, it's not happening. I'll take a shit and I'll try to spell their name out.
I don't want to see any of these things happen.
Yeah, these are all the worst ideas I've ever heard.
A tattoo of the 500 subscriber?
Yeah, that's such a bad idea. What
not
if
happening.
What if their name is like a troll name and it's got racial slurs and whatnot?
Yeah, it's terrible.
He's got to go with it. That's the they got to make a fake ass account, put some dumb shit on it. But either way, I do think that you guys all said your spiel on it, I'm assuming. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're all in agreement, honestly. Like there's you need to take care of yourself. You need to, if you're trying to elevate yourself completely in all aspects of your life. And that includes getting out of some of the nonsense that can bring you down. I like the idea of trying to elevate your friends as well. I don't know if that's always doable, but I think that it's always worth trying at least.
For sure, because you're going to lead some horses to the water. Some of them are going to drink. Some of them are not going to drink, and they're going to want to continue going on their own way. And those people you're going to have to leave behind for sure.
Yeah, different sports and different professions lend itself to bringing your friends along for the ride. Like in basketball, I don't know what you could bring a friend around for. Like aside from like you have your own personal security or some shit like that. Like I don't know what you could do, but like in music, there's a lot of little jobs that need to get done. Like if you're a successful band, you could get your friends to join along to be some of those like roadies to like do shit and support you and all that kind of stuff. In boxing, there's like a lot of little things that need to get done.
But also, you don't need any liabilities in your entourage. You're like, in the people you're chilling with, everybody kind of has to be on the same type of time. You know what I mean? Like, you're at the end of the day, the people that are chilling with Floyd Mayweather, they're a part of Floyd Mayweather's crew. They do something, it's going to be on Floyd Mayweather's name, like how they try to beat up Jake Paul the other day.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't be bringing around, like, I would try to bring my people up, like the people I came up with and shit like that. But like, yeah, there are people I grew up with that won't come along for the ride because I know they just wouldn't be capable of acting like normal people like in society, you know?
Well, I mean, it's even some of the stuff that we run into here on this tiny, tiny little podcast where we've all, I think at this point, we've all realized like, yeah, we're a friend group, but we're also not quite a business, but like that's the approach. That's kind of some of the approaches that we've taken to the way that we interact with our social media and things like that, right?
Pucho, you bringing me with you, Pucho?
Yeah, you got a gun.
Oh, I was about to say, DK, I can't bring people that I can't handle. This man, Pucho, has gave me 2 speeches in life that I looked at him crazy. 1, how to hang around my coworkers. 2, how to hang around friends that don't normally act like us, Tony. Those are the 2 conversations I had with Pucho that I was like, damn, am I that fucking bad to be with? Mind you, coworkers love me.
Listen to yourself talk.
Friends love me. His friends love
listen
me.
to yourself talk.
Some people have said that Tony can take the most innocent statement, and when he restates it in Tony speak, it becomes the most vulgar thing that's ever been said.
The amount of the way you talk though, like, yeah, I tell you, like, I code switch when I go to work. Okay, so I code switch around my coworkers and shit like that. I don't need a bunch of ghetto bastards along for the ride, ghettoing me up. All right, I put on an air of non-ghetto-ness. Okay?
Yeah, as soon as
I tell people I'm from the ghetto. I tell people I'm a ghetto bastard, but I don't ever act like one.
As soon as I come around, he starts becoming ghetto. Like, yeah, fuck that shit, God.
Now, one time we went out to
let's go get
a
wings.
bar. One time we went to go get wings, and one of the people that were gonna be there only has one leg or one arm. So I pulled Tony to the side and I was like, bro, we're gonna be at this place. This guy has one leg. I'm just gonna mentally prepare you for this, because Tony's liable to see a person with one leg and be like, oh, what happened to your leg, bro? And then you're like, what the fuck? Like,
bro,
that ain't normal. And just like Doughy said, when you bring people along, the actions of the people you bring up reflect on the person who brought them along. So that's what I'm always concerned about. It's like, I'm going to bring somebody along and they're going to say or do some crazy shit, and that's going to reflect on my character.
It's funny.
I got to check my people.
You bring someone to the house party and that person starts, like, they get too drunk and they start vomiting or something. It's on you. Like, you're the one that's looked at poor. That's like, I can't believe Mateo brought this dude around and he did 20 shots in 5 minutes and then he started puking everywhere. What's wrong with Mateo that he's bringing these kind of people around?
They were like, yeah, it was a good party until Mateo came in with his friends.
Yep.
Nah, bro. Like, it's crazy because, like, I would have never, like, I don't know. Fuck it. His friends and coworkers, I don't know, maybe coworkers, they all enjoyed me that night. They all were like, oh, this guy is awesome. It's cool. I ain't do no outlandish shit, no vulgarities that came out of my mouth.
The end of the night, Tony.
That's what they were doing. Pucho's in the back like, wow, this scumbag just fits well with my friends. I never need to do a speech with him. You don't, bro.
Seething.
No.
What are you talking about?
I just made that whole second
The only reason it went so well is because I spoke to you. The fuck? You would have came in and been like, just screaming the most outlandish shit, and I would have been like, oh my God. I'd be embarrassed, yeah.
Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with us throughout this entirety of the episode, longer than me, always remember, thank you and go one up yourself. All the time. Peace.
Later, guys.
Peace.